Have you ever felt it? That creeping sense of exhaustion that no amount of sleep can fix? A cynicism that makes even the most inspiring projects feel hollow? A gnawing doubt about your ability to make a difference, even though you're giving it your all? If you're a manager, chances are you know exactly what I'm talking about. This isn't just a bad week or a stressful project. It's the insidious onset of burnout, a phenomenon increasingly recognized as a significant challenge in today's demanding workplaces. It's a silent drain on energy, creativity, and overall well-being, especially for those in leadership roles. Today, we're going to delve into the heart of managerial burnout, what it is, why it's so prevalent, and most importantly, how we can prevent it. This isn't about quick fixes or pushing harder. It's about understanding the deep-rooted causes and equipping ourselves and our organizations with sustainable strategies for thriving, not just surviving. The concept of burnout, as we understand it, has roots stretching back to the 1970s, thanks to psychologist Herbert Freudenberger. He described it as a state of chronic physical and emotional exhaustion. Later, Christina Masloch further refined our understanding, identifying its three core dimensions: overwhelming exhaustion, feelings of cynicism or detachment from one's job, and a reduced sense of professional effectiveness. It's crucial to understand that the World Health Organization now officially recognizes burnout not as a medical condition, but as an occupational phenomenon, resulting from chronic, unmanaged workplace stress. It's a systemic issue, not a personal failing. For managers, this occupational phenomenon takes on a unique, complex form. Many leaders find themselves caught in what's been called the manager squeeze. They're constantly balancing expectations from above, strategic goals, budget constraints, performance targets, with the immediate needs, concerns, and development of their direct reports. They often act as shock absorbers, absorbing pressures from both directions, trying to cushion their teams from organizational turbulence, while still meeting their own demanding targets. This dual role, combined with pervasive burnout cycles, where the problem recurs because underlying issues aren't addressed, makes managers particularly vulnerable. It's a demanding tightrope walk, and the stakes for both the individual and the organization are incredibly high. So, what does managerial burnout actually look like? It often manifests as that chronic physical and emotional exhaustion we mentioned, a persistent fatigue that sleep doesn't resolve. Alongside this, managers might notice a growing cynicism or detachment from their work, a feeling of going through the motions. Tasks that once brought satisfaction now feel meaningless. And perhaps most distressing, there's a reduced sense of professional effectiveness, a belief that despite all their effort, they're just not making the impact they used to. This isn't simply stress, it's a deeper, more pervasive erosion of well-being and engagement. The causes of this state are multifaceted, a tapestry woven from both individual pressures and systemic organizational factors. Firstly, excessive workload and conflicting demands are monumental contributors. This isn't just long hours, it's job creep, where responsibilities steadily expand without corresponding support, unmanageable tasks, and the constant need to juggle expectations from both leadership and subordinates. Then there's the lack of control and autonomy. Picture a manager accountable for a project's success, yet micromanaged at every turn, or excluded from key decision-making processes that directly impact their team. This creates a profound sense of powerlessness, feeling frustration and exhaustion. Then there's the need for connection and recognition. Insufficient support and recognition also plays a significant role. Imagine feeling undervalued, lacking appreciation for your efforts, or experiencing poor communication from upper management. This isolation, this feeling of not being seen or supported, can be incredibly draining. Related to this is unfairness and a lack of community. Perceived biases, social distance from the very team you lead, and a lack of belonging can amplify feelings of cynicism. And of course, the role conflict or the manager squeeze is ever present. You're expected to complete your own work while simultaneously leading, mentoring, and managing others. You are the critical intermediary, translating organizational goals into actionable steps for your team while advocating for your team's needs upwards. Finally, constant change and uncertainty, particularly in today's dynamic hybrid and remote work environments, adds immense pressure. Navigating continuous organizational shifts without clear roadmaps can feel like building the plane while flying it, leaving little room for stability or rest. Understanding these causes is the first step. The next, more empowering step is prevention, and prevention, crucially, requires a multifaceted approach, addressing both individual resilience and organizational responsibility. It's not an either-or, it's a powerful synergy. Let's begin with individual strategies, what you, as a manager, can actively do to build your own protective factors.
Firstly, setting clear work-life boundaries is paramount. This means consciously deciding when work begins and ends and sticking to it. Don't answer emails after hours unless it's a true emergency. Prioritize your tasks effectively, distinguishing between urgent and important, and learning to delegate when appropriate. Equally vital is engaging in consistent self-care. This isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Adequate sleep, regular exercise, and nutritious eating form the bedrock of physical and mental resilience. Practices like mindfulness and other stress management techniques can help you stay grounded and manage daily pressures more effectively. Learn to reframe perspectives, to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. Take regular breaks throughout your day, even short ones, to clear your head. Cultivate outside hobbies and interests. These aren't distractions, but vital sources of joy and perspective beyond your professional role. And critically, actively seek help when overwhelmed. Reaching out to a mentor, a peer, a therapist, or even a trusted friend is a sign of strength, not weakness. While individual actions are crucial, it's equally important for organizations to create an environment where burnout is not just mitigated, but actively prevented. This is where systemic change comes into play. Organizations must commit to clear expectations and workload management. This means establishing realistic goals, providing adequate resources, ensuring clear communication of roles, and regularly auditing systemic issues that cause heavy workloads. Furthermore, enhanced support and recognition are non-negotiable. Fostering a positive culture of open communication, building robust support networks like mentoring programs and peer groups, and offering consistent, meaningful recognition for effort and achievement are vital. Managers also need to be involved in key decision-making processes rather than being excluded.
Empowerment and autonomy are powerful antidotes to burnout, granting managers more control and flexibility over how they achieve their goals, and actively encouraging them to delegate fosters a sense of trust and ownership. Promoting work-life balance means more than just talking about it. It involves actively encouraging paid time off, offering flexible work options, implementing mental health days, and critically, actively discouraging an always-on work mentality that blurs all boundaries. Leaders must model this behavior. Training and development are also key. Equipping managers with skills in leadership, emotional intelligence, resilience, and crucially, training them to identify signs of burnout in themselves and their teams transforms them into more effective and empathetic leaders. Fostering psychological safety means creating environments where managers feel safe to express concerns, admit mistakes, and discuss mental health openly without fear of judgment or reprisal. Normalizing conversations around mental health is a powerful preventative measure. And finally, proactive monitoring, utilizing employee engagement tools and surveys, can help track well-being and identify burnout risks early, allowing for timely intervention. Now, as with any complex issue, the topic of manager burnout prevention is not without its ongoing debates and evolving understandings. One of the most significant discussions revolves around organizational versus individual responsibility. Is burnout primarily an individual's duty to manage through self-care, or is it a systemic issue requiring profound organizational change? The reality, as we've explored, is that it's both, and the challenge lies in striking that delicate balance. Another point of contention is the efficacy of generic wellness programs. Are these truly effective if they're not coupled with fundamental changes to workload, culture, and support systems? There's a strong push for more targeted, personalized well-being initiatives that address specific stressors. Organizations often react to burnout crises rather than preventing them, leading to debates around proactive measurement and intervention. How can we develop reliable tools to identify early signs and intervene effectively before burnout takes hold? This is an area of active research and development. The blurring of work-life boundaries, intensified by remote work and digital connectivity, has fueled the always-on culture. How effectively can organizations enforce boundaries and truly shift away from this expectation, especially when senior leaders might inadvertently model always-on behavior themselves? This remains a critical challenge. Then there's the ongoing question of how to fundamentally restructure roles and provide specific, robust support to alleviate the unique pressures faced by middle managers in the manager squeeze. And finally, despite the well-documented negative consequences of burnout, organizations frequently question the ROI of prevention efforts. How can we effectively demonstrate the value of systemic changes when competing with other business priorities? This is a continuous battle for resources and understanding. Looking to the future, the outlook for preventing manager burnout points towards continued evolution in addressing these complex challenges. We'll likely see a greater integration of individual well-being with systemic organizational changes, move beyond generic wellness programs to more targeted and personalized interventions. There will be an increased emphasis on developing robust, proactive measurement tools and intervention strategies to identify and address burnout risks earlier than ever before.
Organizations will continue to grapple with managing the always-on culture, requiring innovative approaches to enforce work-life boundaries and encourage disconnecting. Efforts to restructure roles and provide specific support for managers caught in that relentless middle manager squeeze will remain a key area of development. And crucially, we'll likely see organizations refining their methods for demonstrating the clear, tangible return on investment of these vital burnout prevention efforts. Managerial burnout is a pervasive, complex challenge, but it is not an insurmountable one. By understanding its dimensions, acknowledging its causes, and committing to both individual self-care and systemic organizational change, we can build workplaces where managers, and indeed everyone, can thrive. It requires awareness, courage, and a collective commitment to creating environments that prioritize well-being as a cornerstone of success. Let's work together to make burnout a relic of the past and well-being a standard for the future.